Hello, it's Mike from Dimensional Walking. So today let's talk about some interesting UFO stuff. Okay? So I've always been interested in several aspects of the UFO experience here on Earth. One of them is electromagnetic interference or interaction with them, and also their interest in power plants. Okay, so let's talk about some examples of that. Okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is Levelland, Texas incident in 1957. So it was one of the most famous cases related to UFO, electromagnetic interference, which occurred in Levelland, Texas. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a glowing oval shaped craft that caused their cars, a bunch of cars, to stall and the headlights to dim. Some of the theorists speculate that UFOs emit and did emit a strong electromagnetic field, disturbing the electrical systems of these people's cars. What was interesting, of course, is it happened to quite a few cars at the same time in a group. So that was that one. And then the next one I want to talk about is the Iran UFO incident of 1976, and this one involved a Iranian fighter jet, which was scrambled to intercept a flying object over Tehran, only to experience some very dangerous sudden instrument failures when he approached the craft. The UFO seemed to disable his radar and communication, leading to theories that it was using advanced energy manipulation to evade detection. Okay. The next one is in Calais, Brazil. It's an incident that happened in 1977, and the residents of Calais, Brazil, reported UFOs emitting beams of light that cause physical symptoms and electrical disturbances. Some believe that these crafts were harvesting energy or conducting experiments on human physiology. Okay, and that is a very famous one. I've written about that one, and it's got some really great evidence to that effect of this being a real, almost alien UFO invasion type stuff. So that's a great one. Um, then the next one is Cash Landrum case, which happened in Texas. This one left the witness actually with some radiation burns and caused their electrical systems in their cars to malfunction. And again, this was multi witnesses. Of course, the theories range from secret military technology, which I can only hope they wouldn't burn their own people, but who knows, um, to, of course, extraterrestrial energy emissions coming from the craft. So then the next one was in Soviet Union at the time, Russia now. Uh, it was in Petrozavka in 1977. So there was this glowing object was seen hovering over Petrozavka. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's close. Causing radio interference and electrical disruptions. Some speculated that it was an experimental Russian or Soviet craft, but others believed it was a extraterrestrial probe. Uh, these cases suggest, of course, that there may be interference with some of the electrical fields, either intentionally or a byproduct of maybe the propulsion systems. Some theories propose energy harvestings, while others suggest defensive mechanisms or experimental interference. Now, let's talk a little bit about the energy harvesting thing. Um, that is seen more when they fly over these power plants. Okay, so let me give you a few examples of power plants. Um, one of them is in India. This is a recent one, 2024. And this is in Kaldanahan, Kaldanahan nuclear power plant. So this is India's largest power station. It saw reports of bright, erratic UFOs, erratic UFO hovering over the facility. Witnesses, which included the police, described the object that moved in a sharp, zigzagging motions, unlike any known aircraft. Security teams investigated but found no conventional explanation. Some researchers suggest that the extraterrestrial craft may have been interested in a power plant uh, generation, either for observation purposes or potential energy manipulation. Okay. If the UFOs are advanced energy harvesting technology, of course, a nuclear plant would be a prime target for siphoning off high energy output. Okay, so if they wanted to, in theory, recharge their batteries, I guess that'd be a great way to do that. So the next one is in Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana in 1967. Although this is not an energy facility per se, uh, this did cause significant electromagnetic interference. Several missile launch sites experienced unexplained shutdowns as UFOs hovered above. Military personnel watched as their nuclear systems were systematically disabled, and the event causes that alarms throughout the system. Some believe that U.S. UFOs demonstrated technological superiority, possibly sending a message that human nuclear capabilities were within their control. If extraterrestrials are concerned about uh, uh, Earth's energy's infrastructure, particularly nuclear weapons and power, incidents like a maelstrom suggest a effort to neutralize or monitor humanity's use of energy. Yeah, there's always been this thing that basically the aliens will not allow another nuclear war or a nuclear uh, explosion somewhere on Earth, and they pretty much have stopped that. The theory is, anyways, after what happened in Japan. So even though there were some interesting enough, even though there were some nuclear tests in parts of the world after that, but as you know now, there hasn't been one for many years. So who's to say if the aliens didn't have something to do with that? Then the next one is Chernobyl, 1986. So after the catastrophic nuclear meltdown at Chernobyl, several reports surfaced describing UFO objects near the facility. Some witnesses claimed to see glowing crafts hovering over the plant, leading to the theories that these objects might have been might have been studying radiation effects or even intervening in the containment efforts. Soviet officials never officially addressed the UFO reports, but speculation remains that the extraterrestrials could have an interest in nuclear disasters, either observers or energy regulators. If UFOs possess advanced radiation mediation techniques, their presence at Chernobyl might indicate a reaction to the unfolding catastrophe. So I'm sure they were very concerned about Chernobyl. So chances are those were UFOs watching over things. I don't know if they help contain it. Who knows? And then, of course, there's probably one of the more famous ones is Fukushima, um, and nuclear plant incident in 2011. I think we all know about that. So similar to Chernobyl, the Fukushima disaster saw reports of unidentified flying objects hovering near the wrecked nuclear facilities. Witnesses claim that these luminous craft above the plant in days following the tsunami triggered meltdown. Some theorists propose that UFOs were collecting radiation data, while others suggest a more direct intervention, perhaps extraterrestrial technology, attempting to stabilize energy levels or present further or to possibly even prevent further leaks. The absence of concrete evidence leaves these accounts in the realm of speculation, but the correlation between nuclear accidents and UFO sightings seem to be intriguing and real. Across these cases, patterns suggest that UFOs may have a keen interest in nuclear energy, whether for surveillance, intervention, or energy manipulation. If extraterrestrial civilizations have advanced understanding of energy systems beyond our own, nuclear plants could serve as ideal points of study or even resource extraction. Okay, I think some of it is resource extraction. Okay, I had a friend that lived in Utah. There is a large power plant just south of the city of Salt Lake City. He lived over in that area, and he used to pass the plant probably a couple times a week. One time he was driving by late at night with another witness in the vehicle with him, and he watched a UFO. He said hover over the plant, and actually it looked like it was extracting something through a beam uh, from the from the plant itself right into their ship. And he watched it for probably 15 minutes before it took off. So I think that was pretty dang interesting. So UFOs continue to have our interest in our energy sources, their presence of interference with our electrical systems. They continue, and every time I there's a blackout somewhere in the world or even here locally, my thoughts always go to maybe it's UFOs. Who knows? So happy trails until we see you again. Bye bye.